Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Samapradha Nirvignam Kurubhe Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karashyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Apara Karuna Sindhum Jnanadam Shantarupinam Shri Chandrasekhar Gurum Pranamami Mudanvaham Yat Kripalesha Matreya Puman Purnah Prajayate Tam Vande Brahma Vidhuryam Sadgurum Chandrasekharam Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunakto Sahiryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe Om Shanti 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 Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha.
Atah Shashtodhyayaha
Shashtodhyayaha.
completed the 10th shloka, now the 11th shloka. Meditation itself, dhyana, itself is a means for the steadiness and clarity of mind that leads to knowledge, jnana. To live a life of meditation also requires a certain discipline, which is considered to be a secondary means or sadhana for meditation. The remainder of this section of chapter 6 is devoted to the accomplishment of this yoga, discipline, and its results. So we have seen the first 10 shlokas, where the Lord said that the dhyanam may the person, the person be unattached to sense objects and to the actions of the sense organs. Idi indriyarteshu karmasuna anusajjate. So that person is sarva sankalpa sannyasi, is called yoga rudaha. Yoga rudaha means is the one who has accomplished. For accomplishment, to be accomplished person, to be an accomplished person, this yoga of meditation, dhyana yoga. For dhyana yoga requires a certain mental disposition. Therefore, karma yoga is suggested. First, karma yoga is bhagiranga sadhana. Preparatory means for dhyana. Then only the person can be sit in meditation, not allowing the mind to wander around, not allowing the mind to roam the world of the sense objects. So, therefore, indriyarteshu karmasuna anusajjate is sarva sankalpa sannyasi. He has given up all his sankalpas. Yes, given all the sankalpa, then he is said to be the person who has gained yoga rudaha, means he has accomplished. Whereas for others, arurukshoho Arurukshoho karma karanam yogarudasya shama karanam. The shama, the word means sannyasa iti. Vashakara said. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi, yogarudaha. So yogarudaha means one who has attained moksha. It's called yogarudaha. Arurukshu is who is attempting for moksha. So he's a mumukshu. Arurukshu means mumukshu ityartaha. So for a mumukshu, to gain a relative chitta shuddhi, the peace of mind, karma yoga. Then after that, jnana yoga sadhanam, shravanam, maranam, nididhyasanam. The nididhyasanam is nothing but contemplating on the words of the Shastra, which requires the person must be sufficiently enjoying the mental poise, the quietude, so that he can sit and meditate on the words of the Shastra. If he is a jnana yogi, but for jnana yogi, the dhyanam is nididhyasanam. For upasaka, the dhyanam is Saguna Brahma Manasa Vyapara. It is meditation, dhyanam. So the same antaranga sadhana disciplines, which you are going to see, it's going to be enumerated from shloka number 11. The disciplines which are required, the secondary disciplines which are required, antaranga sadhana, which are required for contemplation as well as meditation. So contemplation, we can say, we can understand that it's nididhyasana. Only the one who has been exposed to Shastram can contemplate an Atma, nididhyasana. You can do. Otherwise, what is the object of meditation? The object of meditation is Atma, therefore, he meditates nididhyasanam for jnana nishta. Whereas Upasaka, it also does meditation. For him, the object of meditation, the Jaya Vishaya, is Saguna Brahma. Saguna Brahma, either that is done for Chitta Naishtalyam, for steadiness of the mind. Therefore, meditation is for steadying the mind on, that is common for both, steadying the mind on the object of meditation. So, making the mind steady on the object of meditation, dhyanam. And for clarity, it will lead to knowledge, dhyanam. So, dhyanam is important. So, that is said now. There are certain disciplines which are common, and that is what is going to be said here. The remainder of this section is devoted to this accomplishment of yoga. This accomplishment of this yoga is yoga meaning accomplishment of this jnanam, that is the end. In the language of the sixth chapter of the Gita, it is arudaha. Arudaha is one who has accomplished. So, want to become aruda, then the disciplines have to be followed. Yoga arudaha. Accomplishment of this, accomplisher of the yoga is yoga arudaha. So certain disciplines have to be followed. The disciplines are common for both upasaka as well as for the yogi. Yogi in the sense, here it is jnana yogi. Jnana yogi meaning he has done shravanam, maranam, and now nididhyasana, that is contemplation. That's why we translate the word nididhyasana as contemplation and dhyanam as meditation. Both involves focusing the mind, but the objects of meditation are different. So therefore, the disciplines, antaranga disciplines, the antaranga sadhana, Bhagavad sadhana is karma yoga. Antaranga sadhana is preparatory disciplines for meditation. They are common. So that is what is going to be said from the shloka. The last two shlokas, immediate two shlokas, we saw that arudaha, one who has accomplished this yoga, one who has gained knowledge, one who has become free. For that person is that person was described is jnana vijnana triptatma kutastaha vijitendriyaha samaloshtasmakanchanaha suranmitrarvadasena madhyastha dvesha bandhushu sadashu vapicha papeshu samabuddhir vishishyate. That shloka was elaborately discussed. Now comes the next topic, which is preparatory disciplines for meditation. Meditation now the word is commonly used. Meditation. So meditation, adididhyasana, whatever may be the object of meditation. But since this chapter is follows after the sannyasa yoga, jnana karma sannyasa yoga. Therefore, we can take this is for gaining jnana nishta. Dhyanam is for gaining jnana nishta. So now, how the meditation to be done? That is said from the shloka number 11. How to sit, where to sit, how the asana should be. Let us read shloka number 11. शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य स्थिरवासनमात्मनः
शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य स्थिरमासनथात्मनः
नात्युच्छ्रितं नातिनीचं चैलाजिनकुशोत्तरम्
नात्युच्छित्तं नातिनीचं शैलाजिनकुशोत्तरम्
तत्रैकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यतचित्तेन्द्रियक्रियः
तत्रैकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यथचित्तेन्द्रियक्रियः
उपविश्यासने युञ्ज्याद् योगमात्मविशुद्धये
उपविश्यासने युञ्ज्यात् योगमात्मविशुद्धये
शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य आसनं स्थिरम् आसनम् asana is asyate asmin iti. That is asanam is asana. Asanam is seat. So asanam, placing the asanam, arranging one seat in a clean place. Stiram, and the asana should be stiram. Stiram asanam. Stiram is firm. And it should not be too high. Na ati uchritam. Na ati nicham. Should not be too high or should not be too low. But asanam, the seat. Atmanaha. Atmanam, the asana for oneself. So you place your asanam, the seat on which you sit and want to do meditation. So place that asanam firmly in a clean place. The place should be free from dirt. The place should be free from insects. The place should be free from any bad smell. Should not distract you. So it should be clean. And the asanam should be neither too high or too low. If it is too high, then when you close here, you may have the fear of falling down. If it is too low, then even though the place is clean, too low, there may be some insects or small insects which are so small, tiny, invisible, so they can cause disturbance, the crawling things. So, nati nicham. And the asaram should be covered by what? Chaila ajina kushottaram, uttarottaram. Chaila ajina kusha. Kusha, grass. Grass should be spread on the asana on which there should be ajina, a skin. Skin is skin of animal. Tiger skin, deer skin, that skin of animals. So nowadays, if you put any skill, then you will be arrested. They will put you in prison. So skin is there. If skin is not there, then only is a piece of soft cloth on that. Pratishtapya, having arranged them where in the place where it is very clean, and that you sit upavishyasane yunjyat, sitting on the asanam. Tatra ekagra manakritva, focusing the mind. Manaha ekagram kritva, ekagra, tatra ekagram manaha kritva. making the mind one-pointed on what? On the object of meditation. So making the mind one-pointed. Yata chittendriya kriyaha, chitta, the mind, indriya sense organs. So chitta, indriya, kriya. So chitta, mind, indriya, sense organs. So kriya is one who has done, has mastered, kriya. Mastered both the indriya and the manas. It means he has got shama and dama. So mind do not wander, and the mind, sense organs also withdrawn, do not go after sense objects. So upavishyasane, having seated on the asana, Yunjyat Atma Shuddhaye. And then one should practice Atma Shuddhi, Antakarna Shuddhi, Yogam Yunjyat. May one Yunjyat practice Atma Shuddhaye. Here Atma Shuddhaye, purification. That is going to be discussed. We'll see. Atma Shuddhi. What is the ultimate Atma Shuddhi? Jnanam. So Atma Shuddhaye, Jnana Prapte. So Nishtha Prapte. Nishtha Prapti. So having arranged one seat in a clean place, which is thiram, firm, not too high, ati uchritam, na ati uchritam, na too low, ati nicham. Chailajana kushottaram, piece of soft cloth, your skin and grass mat layered in reverse order. It means grass first over the skin and then soft cloth. There, sitting on the seat, upavishyasane, the seat, making one's mind one pointer. That is making the tatraikagra manakrutva. May one, the one who has mastered the mind and senses, that is referring to the person, that is yatachittendriya kriyaha, the person. May he practice Vinjyat, may he do meditation for antakarna shuddhi. I mean, the purification of mind, that is, we will see what it is. Antakarna shuddhi. Because antakarna shuddhi, we have been seeing karma yoga. But Dhyanam also helps us to purify the mind, because it is also as a sadhana, helps for purifying the mind, for gaining chitta naischalya. And vikshepa also is ashuddhi one. Vikshepa is distraction. So all these are obstacles. So whatever obstacles are there for gaining jnana, all these are impurity only. So therefore, certain impurities to be handled only through meditation. Certain impurities to karma yoga. So begin with karma yoga, then with jnana. So therefore, antakarna shuddhi, atma shuddhi. Atma is antakarna, not atma meaning Sachit Ananda Atma. Because atma is ever pure. Here atma shuddhi is antakarna shuddhi. The word atma is used in the sense of antakarna. Atma shuddhi. In these shlokas, the word asana, the two shlokas are read together because the first shloka itself, if you see, it doesn't, it's not complete without a second shloka. That is why read together. The first shloka, there is no Kriya Padam. Second shloka, only we have Jyat. Therefore, read together. So in this shloka, that's why in these shlokas, in these verses, the word asana, you can say asana is a seat upon which the meditator should sit. Asyate, asminiti. Aste, not aste asminiti. Iti asam, that on which one sits. Aste asminiti, not asyate, aste. That is a seat. How one sits, that is also asana. Asana, pranayama, pratyahara. That is also called asana, yoga asana. Here asana meaning aste asminiti, on which one sits. It's called asana. So how one sits, that is also asana. That is going to come later. All these comes under antaranga sadhana. How one should sit. One should sit in a comfortable posture, etc. So that all Bhagavan will be discussing later. Here asana means just a seat. The words Shuchau Deshe describe the place where one sits, meaning that it should be a clean place. You should not sit in a garage, for instance, simply because you bought a house that has a garage. and you don't have a car to put it. Sit in a place which is relatively clean and quiet. So therefore, the place of meditation must be clean. For every action, for everything you want to do, you require an appropriate place. You cannot do meditation in kitchen, you cannot do in the dining hall. You have to sit in a place which is free from noise, which is free from too much light or disturbances. So therefore, require a clean place. In terms of the, in terms of no, the clean means in terms of no distraction. There shouldn't be any bad odor also. The clean air, so that the mind will not be disturbed by all these factors. That is the idea. And meditation is no exception. Therefore, meditation being that's also a karma only, a kriya. So therefore, it requires an appropriate sthanam, a place. It requires a place that is inspiring. That is why the giri or guha or the natural place, scenery, so which generally inspiring. So one can one chooses to sit there and do, and that's meditation. And meditation happens naturally. The mind focuses without any great effort. As one Swami Brahmananda, we say he's a Manasa Putra of Paramahamsa, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He said once, Swami Brahmananda, if you see a place, a natural place, scenic place, you go to a scenic place, and if you see the natural beauty there, then don't miss the chance. Just utilize the time, the place and the time for meditation. So when you happen to visit natural scenic places, utilize the place and time for meditation. And should sit for meditation there. Because the mind naturally converges. So therefore, it requires a place that is inspiring. And if not inspiring, at least it must be clean. Thus, Bhagavan says, Shucho deshe, Shucho, in a clean place. Shuchi means clean. Shucho, Saptami, Shucho deshe. Shuchi is Tapumsakalinga Shabda. Shucho deshe, in a clean place. Desha. Desha means not country. Desha means place. Sthanam. In his commentary on this shloka, Bhagavad Pada says that the place should also be quiet. Vivikta. Vivikta means free from people, free from crowd. Vivikta desha. Savittam. Later the Gita Bhagavan says, should be free from crowd, should be free from people. A riverside, a mountain, or some wooded area, this forest is considered to be clean and quiet because there is usually no one there, and natural surroundings tend to be inspiring. That is why Swami Brahmananda also said that is a place you have to sit for meditation. You come across. For a place to be inspiring, meaning conducive to meditation, there should be nothing to draw your attention away from meditation. And a clean and quiet place meet this requirement. Because sense organs are naturally outdrawn. Pranchigani within that Swayambhu. Therefore, such places where the sense organs naturally withdraw, absorbed. So that place, the quiet place, so that our effort on curbing the sense organs become less. We need not spend our time and effort on that. But that place, when the place meets this requirement, that place should be chosen for meditation. In such places, people can observe nature and spend time with themselves. They need not always be meditating because they can be meditative while watching. This doesn't mean one must say, I have to meditate and therefore I have to find a mountain or riverside. By your own action, you can make the place clean. Wherever you are, you can make that place a clean place where you can sit quietly. Does this mean you have to drive away the people who may be there? No, you need not do that, nor can you do it if the people are a part of your life. How then you might ask, are you going to meditate? That is, you always find a quiet corner where, near in the place where you live, in which you can meditate. You can find a time, perhaps early in the morning, perhaps before the others get up to do meditation. When everyone is sleeping, you're the only one interested in meditation, and this is a good time to do it. So when everybody is sleeping, you must be awake and doing meditation. Yanishasarabhutanam. That is what Jnanis do. But anyway, that is shloka is not the appropriate one here to quote. The meaning is different. Literally, if you take in that sense, Yanishasarabhutanam is a cryptic shloka. Cannot take the literal meaning of the shloka. When everyone sleeps, you are awake. It means Jnani is awake. I just quoted to take it the literal meaning. When everyone is asleep, you are awake, and therefore you can do meditation so that you are free from disturbances, so that your mind can easily converge on the object of meditation. So when everyone is sleeping and you are the only one interested in meditation, that is a good time to do it. If others in the house are interested in meditation and also wanted to do it in the early morning, it could be a problem. So by getting up a little earlier, you have a quiet place, because you have a quiet mind, because you don't have any disturbances. Some quiet corner always is available. Or if your home is always noisy, you can go to a nearby park or some other quiet place. When Bhagavan says here that one should arrange his or her own asana, it doesn't mean it in a possessive sense. It is not that you have a particular seat upon which you must sit every day. It is not the emphasis here. Rather, one's asana, one's seat of meditation is in terms of what is most conducive to meditation. For example, the seat should be positioned firmly, meaning that should not wobble, should not shake. The seat may be a bench or a plank or whatever, but it should be firm, stiram. It should not be too high, not too low. Too high, na ati uchrutam, a seat from which you could fall, or too low, meaning that you not sit directly on the ground, lest you be bothered by insects and the dampness. Because the body has a tendency to become relaxed in meditation and may even fall asleep. The fear of falling will be there if if the asana is too high. Sleep is normal in meditation. Therefore, one may fall asleep. If the asana is too high, you may fall. And there are some people in the Gurukulam, they sit purposely in front of a pillar. So they said if they fall, they hit on the pillar. So they wake up. The fear of falling. So fall. So if the seat is too high, you may fall. Therefore na ati uchratam. The mind is focused. When you practice focusing the mind, sleep is natural. So therefore, if the seat is too high, there is a fear that you may fall. There is a fear of falling. Therefore, it should not be too high. Instead of meditating, you will be afraid. Yes, you will be afraid of falling, and then distracted by the thought. You should not be afraid. That again becomes an obstacle. Similarly, if you sit quietly, directly on the ground, there may be a fear of being bitten by crawly creatures, creepy creatures. The real concern for those who inhabited the jungle areas of India. Therefore, na ati uchatam and na ati nicham can also be taken in another way. Some people think that if they want to meditate, they should go to the higher altitudes. This is another way of interpretation. Another way of interpreting the shloka, that ati uchatam means not that one should go to the higher altitude. Na ati uchatam. Similarly, or into a cave below the ground, ati nicha. But here, Bhagavan advises against both locations. Meditation may seem to be very successful at the higher altitudes like Gangotri at about 10,000 feet, because a person who meditates will have no disturbance in his or her mind. But this is because the mind cannot think due to lack of oxygen. We meditate with a thinking mind, not an incapacitated mind. Therefore, to incapacitate the mind by going to high altitudes, it's not an accomplishment. In fact, you don't even know what is going on. Arranging one asana in too low a place is also a problem for the same reason. There will be no sounds to disturb you in a cave dug into the ground. But again, there is a problem of mind not being able to think, because the oxygen supply is extremely limited in such places. Therefore, Bhagavan says that one's seat of meditation should not be too high, na uchutam, ati uchutam, atyuchutam, na too low, na ati nicham. In other words, neither on the mountain top nor under the ground. This is another interpretation. Now, the significance of the materials of the traditional asana. Asana should be made of what materials? Kusha, Ajina, and Chaila. Bhagavan then mentions one final thing about the asana itself. Chaila, Ajina, Kushottaram. Uttaram is successively. Chaila means a soft cloth, Ajina is skin, such as a deer skin or tiger skin, used by the ancient sages, and Kusha, which is a grass mat. The word Uttara completes the compound. It's a compound referring to the order in which these three materials are to be placed, actually arranged one over the other. How, when these three materials are given, how this should be arranged, one needs to know in what order they should be arranged. One needs to know what should be over what, because it can be done in several ways. That way, Uttarottaram. If, for example, you arrange your asana by first placing a soft cloth on the ground or floor, on the top of which you put the skin, and then the grass mat, grass will be hard. Will not be able to sit there, because to sit on a mat made of grass is a problem. I assure you, the grass will the grass is a harder one, so it will cause disturbance. It will not be comfortable. Always there will be there will be some touch with the sharp corners of the grass. The Bhagavad Pada here confirmed that the order to be followed is the other way around. That is Viparita, the reverse order. There is Kusha on the bottom, then the Ajina, on the top of which you can spread the soft cloth. Only then is the asana is completed. So Chaila Ajina Kushottara, not in the other way. Kusha over which Ajina over which Chaila, the skin. All this had to be said because meditation should not be done on the damp ground. So one should not take for granted. That's why this Upadesha is given. Bhagavan himself says in Gita. So therefore, as Antaranga Sadhana, we need to follow. But in those days, all dwellings had mud floors, and benches or seats were made of clay. If a person were to sit in meditation on such an asana without these three layers of material, after 3 months, their minds may have been bent in the right direction, but the legs would be unable to bend at all, because the knees have a tendency to develop arthritis when exposed to dampness. So all these problems arise. So to avoid the dampness, the kusha was recommended, on the top of which there was a furred skin, like a deer skin, to make the asana warm. Finally, to avoid irritation from the skin, a piece of cloth, soft cloth, was placed at the top of it. This doesn't mean you must find a deer in order to arrange your asana for meditation. This was simply what was done at that particular time. The skin of a deer was often chosen because the deer is one animal that is considered to be very clean, since it will not touch anything that any other tongue has touched. In the Indian religious culture also, this is a very common custom. No one takes a bite of something and then shares with another person, because it becomes uchishta. It is already touched. So it becomes uchishta. It means it should not becomes non-consumable. Only in certain instances, people will eat what has already been touched by the tongue of another. Otherwise, no. The food that has been offered to the Lord can be eaten because it is prasada. It is not a problem anyway, because the Lord has not actually touched it with his tongue. Even if he touches, we take it as prasada. Similarly, food offered to one's own forefathers through the Brahmanas who perform the ritual called Shraddha, that is also eaten. The forefathers are invoked in the Brahmanas, and then the food is eaten by the Brahmanas. Not we eat, they eat. They're offered to the forefathers and they are eaten by the Brahmanas who represent the forefathers. Again, the forefathers have not actually touched the food. So finally, a wife will eat from the same plate as her husband. This was a common custom. After he has eaten, the wife will eat. And the Shishya also will do the same after the Guru has eaten. These then are the exceptions for eating food that has been touched by others. So in that case, it is not Uchishta, it is exempted. I actually tested this trait in deer when I was in deer park one day. I gave the deer some bananas and ate them. Then I put my tongue on another banana and gave it to one of the deer. It sniffed the banana and walked away. Whether an American deer would be so careful about it, about what it is, I do not know. But since the nature of the deer, besides being clean, the deer has enough fur for the skin to be very soft. There was also a rule about the skin that was to be used for one's asana. It was not to be one that someone gave you or one that had been taken from a deer that had been killed. One should not kill the deer for the skin. That is, that's the skin of the deer which has died a natural death. That skin can be used. Some hunters would sometimes kill a deer and try to give the skin to a sadhu. Therefore, the sadhu had to hunt for a dead deer and ensure that it had died naturally. Important. Being a sadhu, ahimsa paramo dharmaha. Therefore, should not kill the deer for the sake of asana. Having arranged one's seat of meditation, what is one supposed to do then? Meditation, meditate. Therefore, yunjyat, may one practice. Yunj, yujir, dhatu. From that dhatu only we get the word yoga. Yunjyat. What is one to practice? Meditation. That is called in the chapter yoga. Yogam, yunjyat. Why? For steadiness and purification of the mind. For chitta to the Atma Shuddhaye, not for anything else. Gaining knowledge of Atma is occurred only by inquiry, vichara, shravanam, which requires Atma Shuddhi. Knowledge to happen, knowledge happens only in the Antakarnam, therefore Antakarnam should be relatively pure. For which sadhanam is Karma Yoga. So knowledge of Atma gained only by vichara, vichara meaning inquiry into the Shastram, that is shravanam. And the obstruction in the mind that prevent this knowledge from taking place have to be understood. What are the obstructions? One is samshaya, other one is viparita bhavana. There are obstructions in the mind. This removal of the first obstruction is raga dvesha. That is before shravanam. That is by karma yoga. Later, after shravanam, we have other impurities, doubts, and habitual errors. Therefore, the obstruction, those are the pratibandha which prevent the mind, which prevent the person from gaining nishta in Atma. Therefore, the obstructions in the mind that prevent this knowledge from taking place. Apratibandha jnanam. Knowledge is there, but it is with pratibandha. Therefore, without any pratibandha. So that also, the obstructions also have to be removed. This removal of obstructions in the mind, that is what is referred to by the word Atma Shuddhi, Antakarna Shuddhi, Antakarna Pratibandha Nivritti. That is done through Jnanam. That is called Atma Shuddhi. Antakarna Pratibandha Nivritti. Removal of the obstructions of the mind is what is called Atma Shuddhaya in this shloka. Therefore, Bhagavan says, may one practice meditation for the purification of mind. Yunjat Yogam Atma Shuddhaye Antakarna Pratibandha Nivrityartam Jnanam Kuryat. Sitting on the asana described earlier, may there be absorption, samadhana, chitta samadhanam. That is samadhana, focus on the object of meditation. How is this to be done? By making the mind single pointed. Tattara ekagram manakrutva, ekagram krutva. Ekagram means ekam agram. Yes, yeah. There is only one thing before that person, nothing else. There is only one thing before the mind, no other thing. Agra means agre, before, in front. So what refers here, what is to be meditated upon? Only that alone is done. There is nothing else for that person. So refers here to only what is meditated upon, what is to be meditated upon, and that being that one thing alone is there. Eka. Therefore, the Bhagavan is saying to bring the mind to the object of meditation and it be absorbed here. Ekagram krutva. The person who does meditation is described here as etachittendriya kriyaha. That is a compound referring to the person, the one who has restrained, mastered eta, one who has mastery over the mind, sense organs, their activities, kriya, the actions. Because we tend to make this qualification lightly, it is repeated over and over, again and again, it's repeated. Etachittendriya kriyaha. Netatmadihi. Many places we have seen Yatachittatma, because we take it lightly, therefore the Bhagavan repeats this again and again. And since it has been repeated so often, we should take it seriously. It is not a Punarukti dosha. Why should we repeat the same thing again? It's not dosha, it is to emphasize it so that we take it seriously and cultivate. So therefore it is repeated. This means that the senses which are usually directed outward, paranchikani, they are withdrawn, along with other activities of the mind. And the person who does this is called Yatachitendriya. Being such a person, being qualified, having cultivated this quality, one should meditate. May he or she yogam vidyat. And what is the purpose of meditation? Why should the person do meditation? That is the next topic. We'll see in the next class tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Bhyo Harihi Om Dhanyavadaha.